outlets
Okay.
and to find out what it takes to upgrade the electrical system. And this morning I went to the lumber yard and got some chain um, and what I needed to um, hang my clothes in the corner of Villa Joy. Uh, I this week this week was a tough week for us here. The lady that I lived with for 2 weeks, Fawn, had a stroke and she died. We've She had a stroke sometime during the week, and her man friend found her on Friday, passed out on her floor. We don't know for sure when she fell. And so we've all kind of been in shock because she was a well known person here in town and well liked and very involved in everything. So
The same
I'm telling
lady that you are saying, the same lady who actually gave all your money back, that same
yes,
lady?
yes,
Oh,
Saturday, we got it all settled. She gave me the money back. We settled, we worked it all out. Nobody was upset with one another. I gave her the money she didn't want to take. I gave it back to her and asked her to donate it to the farmers market for the kids program. So
hmm.
so we got that settled. Then on Saturday, she had me and a couple of my friends come and sit with her on her porch. I think I told you she was having a little welcome home gathering for me. Um, that was actually last week, and then on Monday, that was last week Saturday, a week ago Saturday. Then this week Monday, she came over to Villa Joy and she was in a lot of pain. She was wearing a brace way high up on her ribs from having fallen in her house. I knew she fell, but I didn't realize she was continuing to be in that much pain, right? So we were
Hmm.
thinking broken ribs, they don't usually do much for broken ribs. And
Hmm.
she said, I think maybe I shifted my diaphragm or something. So before she left, two times I said, Fawn, maybe you need to talk to a doctor. Maybe it's something that we just aren't seeing. And then the next thing we knew, her boyfriend found her Friday morning on the floor, and the ambulance took her to the hospital. She had a brain bleed, and they took blood off her brain, and she was unresponsive when they picked her up, unresponsive the whole peaceful but unresponsive in the hospital. And then yesterday we got an email that she died around noon. So we're she touched so many lives here that we're all talking about it, and Alderson is a small community, everybody knows everybody. And um so what I've been doing in the house has been influenced by Fawn and by the fact that, just like you said, I saw on Facebook one of your friends just recently died. You posted something. That's happening here everywhere. People in Cleveland unexpectedly, people here in Alderson. Fawn's not the first person. There's signs everywhere about people who have passed. And maybe it goes with the fact that we're all near 70 or 80, right? Um, but what I decided was, um, when fall comes, this is my plan at the moment. When fall comes and it's too chilly to stay in Villa Joy, I think I'm going to start traveling again to, because I always wanted to go to Japan and Morocco, and I want to get back to France and finally get to Giverny, where I didn't get to go because of, you know, blissing out on whatever and missed the plane. Um, I I have no reason not to do that. Um, yeah, I mean, I could. I don't think I'll be gone tomorrow, but Fawn didn't think she was going to be gone tomorrow either. And she's not here anymore. So it's just another confirmation, as I have said to my friends here, if you're not doing what you really love, you you're missing out. You ought to be doing it. So my organization in Villajoy is going fine. I do a little bit more every day, and I've been stopping in the middle of the organizing long enough to do some artwork, uh, because I want to, and that brings me joy. It's not totally about getting everything organized and everything in place, which is
Mm.
unusual for me because usually I nest real fast, and I'm proud of the fact that everything is in place, a day or so after I move in, but it's not been like that this time. And
Yeah.
I've been listening to some people on YouTube that just confirm, that we're in a reset, and that we're gonna be going through some of this for a while. And I've got a much better handle on what was my dilemma, of being in the middle of conflict and just letting it roll off of me. Because nothing's changed with any of the people here who have very passionate political views about something, or just how they are in general. Like they think that their answer is the only answer. I'm doing better with just letting them say what they say, and just either looking at them, uh, and listening instead of feeling like I have to fix anything. There's a young lawyer that's on YouTube, and he gives people ideas about what to say. And
Mm.
he said sometimes you can just say, I have a different perspective, or I look at it differently. And it doesn't mean you have to explain after that. It's just a statement. Um, so I'm going to start using that, I think. So it's been a surprising week. Sad. And yet I know Vaughn wouldn't have wanted to just be laying there in a comatose state. And so she did have a power of medical attorney. So someone, was called in to, pull the plug on support or whatever, or to finally tell the medical staff to stop whatever they were doing. I wasn't even sure that she had that in place because it wasn't my business to ask her that. But so now we're just waiting for the details of a celebration of life. So I'm just, I've been writing. I've been um, writing out my thoughts about it in different places, and then sticking them in my little purse.
Okay.
Um, can I see a pattern? The only pattern that I guess I see is that I really I really value connections with people. I think that's the overall pattern,
Mm.
if any, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, yeah. So I bought my new bed is in place, and I bought a grandmother clock that I have to figure out how to make it work. It doesn't wind. It works by the different weights of the three weights that hang on the bottom of it. So yesterday I actually made a potato in my microwave. I can only use one appliance at a time, otherwise I'm afraid the electrical panel will trip. And it's in the basement in Austin's house. Oh, he starts work today, by the way. He got
Wow.
hired. Yeah,
Congratulations.
he got hired by his friend who owns a tavern in town where he goes once a week. His friend is one of his good friends, and
mm,
Stewart hired Austin to be a maintenance guy,
mm,
um, part time while the kids are in school and while they're with their mom. So it wouldn't have been my first choice for him, being around a place that serves liquor all the time. But like we talk about, I don't know his contract. I just have to trust that I just have to trust that he knows what he's doing, regardless of what I think about it.
yeah,
So my rent money, the rent money that I agreed to pay him now that I'm staying in Villa Joy has cut him some slack. Because when he came yesterday, he brought me a card and some flowers for Mother's Day. And I know he tends to be a worrier, and he worries especially about money. And so I asked him how he was doing. And, I'm giving him a significant amount of money that um, it's still less than I would pay on the market, but it's going to make a big difference for him. So if he works also, he'll be in good shape. He'll be in really good shape. So uh, at least I'll be there till probably November. By November, it'll probably get to be too chilly in there, too cold.
mm,
So got a couple months of my rent money to help him out.
mm,
So that's my story. That's what's been going on over here.
mm.
Now your turn.
Mhm. Like there is a lot happening. The filling space, you can see. I realize a lot of small small things. One of those, the significant one, which happened today. Yesterday, um, I am coaching people, right? So
Right. Yes.
one of them is really in a very miserable situation in his life. So
Uh,
yesterday he came. He told me that he has got only 4 days left to pay off many of the debts that he had from his colleagues. You know,
uh-huh.
and the company has come to know about that, and unless he pays that off by this Friday, he will be sacked. That was the
Oh,
message. So
okay.
it was he is in a very very tight situation. He is somehow pulling off every month, and now this his debt has been very huge, huge.
Mm-hmm.
And those were because of his own stupidity. His wife wanted some 16 lakh of rupees, which is
Mm,
1.6 million rupees,
uh-huh.
uh, to go abroad. Like she went with his son to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she doesn't plan to come back ever.
Oh.
And this fellow has given all that money by asking people money. So he has taken loan and he
Oh.
has given. Then his parents are dependent on him, medical expenses,
Oh
and
yeah.
one aunt also is dependent on him.
Mm,
Um, the medical expenses of aging people is
sure.
huge, and they are multiple times they will be hospitalized and all those things. So he had a huge amount of debt.
Yeah.
So there is nothing that he can fall back on. Not
Mm-hmm.
even friends. No, the friends, they are saying that they do not have any money, like because he is delaying the payment. No, because he doesn't have money in the first
Sure.
place.
Sure.
But people don't understand. No, he is earning so much, and nobody knows about how much debt he has.
Yeah,
Obviously, he won't be sharing all about that to everybody.
sure.
So it was like that. And yesterday we tried. I was like thinking, scratching my head. Just before that, I told him that there are powers all around you, which uh, which are giving you some opportunities, and they can help you if you ask for help. So
Mm-hmm.
that is something which we all tell ourselves. But when there is a crisis, how you do it really at that time is something of a practice, or something of
Yeah,
your trust level, faith level.
right.
So, but I was trusting that. This was for the first time I felt like that. And
Mm-hmm.
today something he could find out a way how to do that. So it felt like a miracle for me, you know.
I'll bet. I'll bet it
Yeah.
did. So
So
you
so that,
you didn't take on any responsibility for his choices.
yeah. So those were done many
Mm-hmm.
years back, like 3 4 years back. So I
Okay.
was not introduced to him that time. No, otherwise I
Mm,
would have advised him not to do this. Right now, also, I try, how much can you say about a person's own life? No, there is a
sure.
limit how much you can advise.
Yep.
So, so that is there. I try to tell him that to restrict, no,
Yeah.
to not to be like indulged with people who have no respect for him. Why do those people those people are still around him, and they take a lot of his time for
Yeah.
nothing. Just like that, we Indians have lot many celebrations. No, on every occasion, there is a birth, there is celebration. There is a death, there is a celebration. There is something wedding, there is celebration. Engagement, celebration. So, so this waste a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time. So I told him
Yeah.
not to waste time like this, and I have been
Is he
after him
is he on
asking.
social media a lot too, do you think?
Uh, no, no, he. I just say generally, but when
Mm,
it happens, suppose there is an invitation for a celebration. So
right.
at that time, I cannot say anything. No, it is his choice to go or not to go. He
Yeah.
even if he says he thinks that he should not go, his parents are around, so parents would like to go, so he has to take the parents to
Uh,
those
yeah.
places.
Yeah.
And
How old is this guy? How old is this man?
he is about to be 40 in a
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Well,
just there are people who do not have any financial sensibility. He is one of those.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
There are a lot of there are a lot of people here like that too. He's not
Mm.
not just in India. In
Oh,
in
yeah.
our in our even though our countries are wealthy in some ways, there's always poor people and people who don't know how to, their forte is not taking care of themselves financially.
Mm.
I mean, I've been at places where I didn't know what to do next. I just had to work myself out of that place and not do some of the things I, like you said, just make some choices, make different choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope he has money. Does he have money to eat, or his parents can feed him or that kind of thing?
No, no, he has money. He actually looks after his parents, his aunt. entire household, all the relatives, like that. He
Oh,
he he is in a very good. He also works in a port.
oh, okay.
So salary wise, he is okay,
Yeah.
but he has taken so much that all his money gets spent by paying the EMIs stuff.
So he could lose his job if he doesn't come up with a plan by Friday of this week. He's going to lose his job.
Yeah, but today it was sorted out somehow.
Oh, good, good.
So
Well, I
I
hope
told
he's all.
him, I told him not to take any loan, not to spend here, there, anywhere.
Yeah,
Just maintain some Excel sheet. No, I have asked him to track his expenses, how much money he has received, how much liabilities he will
yeah,
have,
yeah.
and by when he has to pay.
Hmm.
And from whoever he has borrowed money from, he has to keep them informed about what is going on so that they
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
He says, I didn't write to them, but I have told them verbally that how much can one digest, no?
Hmm.
His parents' treatment, sister's marriage, he took educational loan, his wife went abroad. All these things nobody would remember. They all will
Hmm.
be interested in when they will be getting their money back.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so I told him, don't assume that people know. People will not connect all those things. No, so many things you say.
Yeah,
You just have to keep them informed that by this time you should be able to pay.
yeah.
He's not,
Is he worried about what people are going to think about him?
so he cannot do anything about it because because he he he's doing his best to
Yeah.
pay, pay it up. But the communication is an important part. No, when you are not able to pay, then you have to
Yep.
keep people informed that you are not able to pay this month, that month, or for 6 months, something. He
Yeah.
doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So I have told him that once you settle those things, whatever you have to settle, just inform me. He hasn't informed till now.
Okay. All right. I understand. Um, this is a separate subject, but I never thought to talk with you about this because we really don't talk politics very much. But every morning I get an email that's supposed to be objective about what's going on in the world. And this morning there was a large piece of, it's called 1440 is the name of the email. And there was a large piece about the upset between Pakistan and India. And
Okay.
I didn't realize, I went back to the history. There was a little click here and then it tells the history. And I did not realize that since 1947, there's been animosity. I always thought, this is how little I knew. I thought Pakistan was part of India, and maybe at some point it was. But I guess I thought Pakistan was this little tiny, more like a state in India. And now this morning I learned a lot more about the history of the upset. And are you um, are you in danger where you live of any of the airstrikes and things that are going on? I mean, it sounded really bad.
Yeah. So yes, the danger is there. No, Delhi is close to the borders, Pakistan and India border. So
Right.
Delhi is, and they will target naturally Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
So that way the danger is always there.
Yeah.
But in day to day life, no, it is not there. It is not that much. If you are afraid, you are afraid.
Yeah.
The Nowadays the drone attacks happen. So Indian army, they have like on April 22nd, 26 people were killed in
Yes.
Kashmir.
Yes. I read
So
that.
this before that there are two sectors, no, that India Pakistan border, and there is one area which is Pakistan occupied Kashmir. That area
Mm-hmm.
is Pakistan in 1964 or some time. It had come that far, and that has been a unsettled territory, you can say, no man's land.
Yeah.
And that area Pakistan has used to give to China. And China has built roads and other infrastructure. So, in case of a war, they are in a
Mm-hmm.
better position to attack India.
Duh.
And because India is a big country with a large market,
Mm-hmm. Of
China is interested to somehow influence India. Now, also,
course.
uh, trade wise, India is very much dependent on China.
Yeah.
But US US also is interested to make India their market.
Sure.
That is how US and China are at no competition about
Yeah.
who will hold India's thing in
Yeah.
their country.
Right.
And Pakistan happens to be the important connecting point.
Yeah.
And so, and Pakistan will easily um, uh, what obey US order, China's order, because they are financially broke.
No, sure. Yeah.
And so that is what has happened. Politically,
Uh-huh.
there was this attack just in the last, since 6th, this attack has been going on,
Yeah.
6th of May. And
Yeah.
suddenly there was ceasefire because US wanted it.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot of controversy going on in India. Like ceasefire has to be called by the countries who are fighting, one of them,
Yeah. Yeah.
not somebody else. So how we are going to obey the ceasefire called by somebody else? But
I
that
know. I wonder. So why do we have our 2 cents in your business when we can't even handle our own stuff? You know, uh, it it boggles my mind. But what you said is true. Everybody's got an economic interest in
yeah
India, right?
yeah
Uh, do you so just like in my home, lots of small plastics and paper goods, they come from China. Do you have a lot of things in your home from China?
like the mobile that I am using, it is made in China mostly, all
Okay.
the mobile parts.
Yeah.
And 90% of whatever we are using in India comes from China.
Right.
So China has a big market in India.
Yep.
It is just that it has increased in the last 10 years in these governments.
Sure.
So,
And
so
then
if that,
we talk about it, we talk about taking care of ourselves, as in you got to learn to take care of yourself. At the same time, you and I metaphysically talk about how we're all one. And so at the same time we're talking about this, we're looking at how we reflect ourselves in the guy across from us, whether he's across the table from me here at the senior center or across across the world.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So when it comes to self-respect, so
Yeah,
you have to save yourself. You have to put yourself into that kind of safety in terms of self-respect. Without
right.
uh, without respecting yourself, you cannot, you know, uh, ask the other person's friendship or
Yeah,
say we are one, because that other person is resisting, and we
yeah,
are not in a position to stand by ourselves. So that
yeah.
is that is what is happening. So
Oh,
much more than this, it is a silly thing. The people of Pakistan, no, because they have roots in India. The partition happened in 1947.
yeah.
Before that, the entire place was India only. So it
That's
may.
yeah.
So,
That's what I thought, but it's obviously changed since then.
so the Pakistani people have roots in India. Their
Yeah,
grandfathers, great grandfathers were from India.
sure.
Similarly, in India also, who have migrated during 1947, those people
Mm-hmm.
have roots in Pakistan.
Sure.
So that means what? We have been from generations, we were together and one. Suddenly,
Yep.
because of some partition, we are different and we are
Yeah.
fighting amongst each other.
Yeah.
And now in this government, it divides people on religious grounds.
Yeah.
Hindu Muslim. Pakistan is mostly Muslim and
Right.
India is Hindu. But
Yep.
Indian Muslim population is more than Pakistan's entire population.
Sure. Sure. What a mess.
So, what is there? We were never this Hindu Muslim kind. We were
Yeah.
all religions together. But because this government doesn't have any credibility, any credentials to their name, because they were
Mm-hmm.
not a party in the Indian independence,
Mm-hmm.
so they have to somewhere no have their base. And people also, when they are not able to do anything significant, they actually love this kind of distinction. Some people are proud because they were upper caste.
Yeah.
There is nothing great about being upper caste or lower caste, no. But if you give prestige just because somebody is upper caste, then he feels great that this person is giving me some kind of respect. That is what they
Yeah.
think. And
Yeah.
so the divide happens and the common sense vanishes.
Yep.
So that has been happening, but people are realizing slowly that it doesn't help that way, because the upper caste or the lower caste, if
Yeah.
the economy fails, then both of them suffer, right?
Yep. Yep.
Nobody is getting any advantage over the other. So
Yeah.
how long can this happen? So
Yeah.
people are realizing that. And
Yeah.
this ceasefire thing, it was called by America. And why the government here has to obey that?
I
Nobody
know. Th- th-
nobody understands that.
I think
But
there's
they have.
I think there's deals behind the scenes that we don't hear about, we that are going on that make more sense. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean you know. I think there's just things that we don't ever know about, and maybe we won't want to know.
So,
I don't know,
so
but
we
it
know.
does swirly.
Yeah, but we know why that
Yeah.
happened. And it is so mean a thing because of one person who is no he has been uh, accused no in a bribery case in
Mm,
US. And US is looking for that person to arrest him, kind of.
yeah.
And that fellow is so close to this government that
Yeah.
this government is ready to what you can say, compromise on the national interest, national respect
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
So when people realize that, they also get angry. But
Yeah.
this democracy is a very funny kind of thing,
Yeah.
it doesn't give any power for instant decision making. Over a
Mm,
period of time, it has its effect, but instantly nothing can happen. That is what.
it's goofy. It's crazy. Here, it's not unusual to hear people say, "I'm leaving this state. I'm moving from this state." This is what I hear from my friends who support Trump. I am moving, like one of my girlfriends lived in Delaware, where Joe Biden is from. She couldn't get out of there fast enough. She's always wanted to live in West Virginia. But the thing is, so she leaves Delaware, she comes to West Virginia, which is a Republican state, but West Virginia used to be a Democratic state not that long ago. So that old saying about wherever you go, you still take yourself. If is she going to move back to Delaware if all of a sudden in 5 years or 8 years she's not an old person yet. She's got 8 years ahead of her of life. So if all of a sudden West Virginia becomes a Democratic state, is she going to move back to Delaware to leave? This isn't the kind of state she wanted to live in. So if it's changed hands politically, she going to move back to Delaware and then wait for it to change hands again and then move again. So I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I found myself having to address that because it's like, okay, Sophie, so the people that you are hanging around with look at political things differently than you do, but that you have to adapt to everything. Doesn't mean you have to like it, because it could change here in another couple years. It could be very different, just like it used to be. So, um, yeah. So um, I don't know. I don't have any answers for the big picture. Best thing I know how to do is just take care of myself from day to day. And try to be the best Sophie I know how to be. And if I do that, maybe everything else will work its way out. Uh,
Yeah, but US, the election in US and the result of it influences the world over, no? Uh,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
if in India, the perception is if Kamala Harris would have been the president, then there would have been a lot of humanitarian case, like that side of the humanity would have been
Yeah.
taken care of. This
Yeah.
all these wars and all that thing, people would have. But there is, but she was not very emphatic enough about certain things. I don't
Yeah.
remember at all.
Yeah.
Because of which people were not very trusting of her. So that is
Right.
why they preferred Trump. Any
Yeah.
case, Trump didn't win by a big margin. See, he just got 0.3% or something more
Right.
than Kamala Harris. So
I I heard a guy from Britain. This makes total sense. So when you and I met and we were taking classes through Mind Valley, right? Wasn't
hmm,
it Mind Valley? So we there was a lot of conversation about illusion in the world, and you can make up a story and you can make it be true and you can believe it, right? So this guy from Britain who his name is Cash Peters. I think I've mentioned him before. He does drawings based on going into the energy of any situation or a person or whatever. And
hmm,
he said yesterday something that we've both known forever. He
yeah,
goes, Trump Trump just convinced people of his story.
Yeah.
He made all of that up. He made the statement MAGA up, and he made that up, and then other people got on board and supported his story.
Yes.
Just like me telling you the story about Fawn passing, or the Democrats have their story, right? We all have a story that we make up. So
Hmm.
this man was saying, Cash Peters was saying that Trump's story was more powerful than the other guy's story, but it's all made up anyway, right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
when you stand back far enough and you see that, it really makes you laugh, because Pakistani and India, they have a story.
Yeah.
The US has a story. We have a lot of stories. We have a story about Vietnam. We have a story about President Kennedy. We have a story about Marilyn Monroe. We have billions and billions of stories. It's just a matter of which one you want to believe.
Yeah.
Yep. So, oy vey. I guess I guess that's why I don't get too hung up with give me the facts, because I know the facts change. Depends on who you believe, what your own personal beliefs are. Like Bashar says. It's like, oh geez, just go through the day and enjoy yourself and be the best person you can be. And when you put your head on the pillow at night, you hope you wake up in the morning, I guess. Ah, anyway, that's my scoop. I don't really have, there's not too much else going on. Uh,
It's
Rebecca,
great. It's great
mm,
that you have settled in, uh, wherever you have settled in.
yeah, it's very quiet. And the birds, mother bird has built a nest under the eaves of the gutter on the side of Villa Joy. So every morning I hear the little baby birds chirping, and she comes in and feeds them, whatever she's given them. And then so I'm making friends with the birds,
Okay.
because the place is just a shed. It's not sealed up, and
Hmm.
so there are new bugs that come in, and then there's a chubby little groundhog that runs between underneath. There's a
Hmm.
crawl space, maybe 2 feet under the floor of where I live. So he
Hmm.
goes he goes between my place and Austin's deck on the back of his house. He runs back and forth depending on who's got food out, right?
Hmm.
Rebecca used to put cat food out, but he just runs around, and then the cats sometimes see him, and then they stalk him, and he runs underneath the place so they can't get him. So I've made friends with the groundhog too.
Hmm.
But it's lovely. I just love it that it's so quiet. I've been going to bed earlier. Last night I got in bed at 8:15. um
Hmm.
i didn't go I didn't go to sleep right away, but um it's so quiet, and I have so little pressure on me of anything that I put on myself. Um, when it starts to get dark, I start to lay down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, it's nice. So I'm feeling pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I know, my dear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, is there anything special coming up for you this week?
This week, what is special? There every day I create something.
Yeah.
So and I work on that. I enjoy that. And
You're
so
going.
lately, I have this. No, people have approached me to train them, train very basic kind of training.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah. So today, today was supposed to be a training, but it has been shifted to the next Saturday because of some
Oh,
other reason. So
okay.
that is a new development. And last two training that I did, it was a big hit. People were asking for more because
Great.
it was very related to their work thing.
Mm,
And whenever there is a training kind of thing, they all knew that it is somebody who would go and do the lecture and the theory part, not very
mm-hmm.
practical.
Mm-hmm.
So my training was in that way very, very, very interesting for them. So
Mm-hmm.
so that is a new thing that I have started.
Good.
And yeah, and
It
I
first
keep on
go
doing
ahead.
new. Yeah, I keep on doing something or other. So, for example, in microfinance, these are very small loans,
Right.
and um, and there are 200 plus people who can lend to the poor people.
Okay.
So, suppose one person lends 20,000 to one person, the second lender comes and again gives 20,000, and a third person also comes, fourth person. So there is a regulation now that only three lenders can lend. If one person has, say, loan from three people, then she cannot take any more, you
Mm,
know.
okay.
But till that happened, this regulation came. Before that, people were there, and 4, 5, 11, 12, as many loans were given to this one person.
Okay.
Now she doesn't know how to manage, right?
Ugh. Yeah.
She has nobody knows what she has done. Not many of them have done like that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
at least 1 or 2% people are like that. No, they have taken loan and they did not know what to do about it, and the money is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so um, that has triggered the thought process again. Why microfinance started in the first place 25
Yeah.
years back.
Yeah.
And people have forgotten that story, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows, but they cannot see the utility of it right now.
Yeah.
It was because people were not bankable. The banks were
Yes.
not giving them loan. They were
Yes.
very poor people. They were earning money from this, that, at least 4 to 5 things that they do in a
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
according to season. Their occupation is seasonal. So
Sure.
banks were not able to trust them. That is why
Yeah.
they didn't give any money.
Yeah.
So that is why microfinance came up, so that they can give money without taking any paper and all that. So it was a social thing in the
Yeah.
beginning. Now
Yeah.
people have forgotten that it was a social thing. Now they have turned into a business. So the moment they see that there is a checklist and something is not ticking, means that
Mm,
client is not eligible for taking loan. And even
yeah.
then, they would give 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loans to the same person.
Mm,
So this is a paradox. If you give loan and that person doesn't pay back, then
yeah.
it is a wrong thing, no? The
Sure.
business also suffers, and the person also suffers.
Yep.
Her civil score goes for a toss,
Yeah.
and things like this.
and they think it's free money. They don't realize they have to pay it back.
No, they know that they have to give back, but suppose somebody doesn't know how to manage money, and a lot of people, as you know, they don't
Yeah,
know how to manage money when money comes in plenty.
yeah, yeah,
If a person hasn't known how to handle 5,000, they cannot
yeah.
handle 50,000, right?
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
if that money comes, then they are like everywhere and the money is gone.
Yeah,
Now, how to pay back that money? So,
yeah,
there are two aspects to it. One is social aspect. If you
yeah.
are careful that if you are giving that money and you know that that person doesn't know how to handle that money, then it becomes our own responsibility to guide her how to. And
Mm-hmm.
if they haven't done, then this money is gone, right? But
Yeah,
there is a conflict now whether they
yeah.
should spend some time teaching this person or not, or just to. So the on Thursday I went to field meeting some clients, and that
Uh,
client, she is a lady, and her mother-in-law, they are, she is in a joint family. Her husband has suffered some accident or something. He
mm-hmm.
doesn't hear, he doesn't speak.
Oh, gee.
So now the mother-in-law doesn't want this lady to be treated. So it was a loan for her treatment. Something, she is in very deep pain.
Mm-hmm.
And because the microfinance requires a signature of another person in the family, and nobody is there to sign, so she is not able to get a loan. As a result, she is not able to get herself treated. Now,
Oh,
what is
boy.
the solution for this? So I so this is a long thing. No, it cannot be handled in a day.
No.
And
Right.
when our person went to her father, he also said, "I cannot help her. Let her die,"
Oh, yeah,
because people are poor. No, they cannot pay back money
yeah.
uh, like that. So they do not want to be a guarantor of some money taken.
I
That
understand.
that is the
Oh,
issue.
tough
So
situation.
this is not something for a quick fix. So I just trained the our person
Mm-hmm.
that you just have to think that this girl is your sister, married to somebody who has this problem.
Yeah,
Now you can figure out what is the solution. If you can't think like this, you cannot find a solution, because I coming from somewhere and seeing you and the other situation just for half an hour or something. I
yeah.
cannot give a solution unless you
Right,
think.
right.
So that was, but there were some big issues which I sorted somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and it got sorted because I went to people and spoke.
Yeah.
And the other person were not able to do that because they were afraid to go and speak.
Oh, well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
I, I'm
So,
sure I'm sure that you make it easy for them to understand you, and you talk at the level, you don't talk down to them, but you talk so that they can understand that you're there to help them, um,
yeah.
not to, not to
Uh,
feel
yeah. So, what happens is, suppose somebody says something bad, it is because that person is in some kind of distress, right? That is what I
right,
understand.
right.
So, but the distress doesn't stay for long. After some time, that person will come to term with that distress. Everybody does.
Yeah.
So because that person has said something bad to me, if I am afraid to go to that person second time, then that is a fallacy, you can say, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that is what I train these people on, saying that it is your duty to go
Mhm.
and understand that this person has some kind of distress, and understand what are the circumstances because of which this person is saying like that.
Yeah.
And then if you give it a thought, then you will also will understand, and that person also will find some comfort zone, comfort level in talking to you.
Sure.
So that was what happened when I visited.
Mm.
Yeah. So that is the second thing that I am doing. The third thing is I do a lot of data analysis also. I
Mhm.
So I'm collecting some data of this all the operations and various indicators, and I'm I have collected data since March 21.
Oh, wow.
So I every quarter or so I collect data and
Mm-hmm.
see if that area is in danger zone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have
Mm-hmm.
identified what all indicators should be there for a place to be called as a danger zone.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I kind of see in the first 10 most danger zone, if it comes in the first 10, then
Mm-hmm.
that is one. The count is one. So over so many periods, so many quarters, if it
Sure.
has come multiple time, then it becomes vulnerable. So more attention is required. So that is the third thing I'm doing. And my visits like this to the field, I have created a book of 70
Oh,
pages.
oh,
Yeah, with all
wow.
my yeah. So I have given it for layout so that it
Yeah.
looks better, readable
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that. That is the fourth thing.
Oh, and so
Yeah,
it be available for people to buy.
it is just for free. I'll send you. You'll take
Okay.
a look. Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah.
You've had a lot on your plate.
Yeah, so I nobody told me to do this, but I did it
Yeah. Yeah.
because these are the things people will talk over and over, but they will not collect data on.
Yeah.
Even if they collect, they won't kind of integrate. So on 23rd of April, we had a big workshop of all
Mm-hmm.
these CEOs of these
Mm.
microfinance institutions, and they were talking about all this over and
Yeah.
over again. So I
Yeah.
realized I should make my experience into a book so that it becomes a handbook for all of
There
these
you go.
people.
Yeah. That's great. That's wonderful. That's like a giant job description. Wonderful. Good for you. Well, I think I have a lower key ahead week ahead of me than you do. I don't know for sure, but yeah, I'm just gonna go back to Villa Joy now and rig up some kind of a bar to hang my clothes on. One of my girlfriends, who's a musician and a singer, and she works with and an artist, and she works with children. She's coming over tonight. No, we're gonna go to a restaurant nearby, just one of the local places, and then she's gonna come over and we're just gonna sit around and have some wine and just talk. um she's thinking of she's has a really cute little house, and she made part of it into an Airbnb, and she's been working on it for a while, and now she's not sure she wants to stay there. She kind of wants to hit the road and adventure, so I think we'll have some stuff to talk about when she comes over this evening after we eat. So that's not. And there's a Main Street meeting on Thursday. It's the group here in town that helps businesses get going, but not with money, just with support, and helps organize the festivals and that kind of stuff. So meeting on at 10 o'clock on Thursday. And so Friday, the senior center, a woman is coming. Um, there's something called quilling. It's you take strips of paper and you wind them into designs, and then you stick them on paper, and you when you look down at it, you're actually looking on the side of the paper, but because of the three dimension, it looks, you can see flowers and shapes and leaves and stuff. So we're going to start that on Friday for an hour. Probably take a couple of weeks because it's a slow process. So Thursday's a meeting, Friday is the art project, and then whatever else comes up, I'll be involved in. So I will keep my writing going, and if something out of the ordinary happens, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll just talk to you Monday. Same thing here. Same thing with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
Sophie.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, okay, okay. Bye. Bye.